the advantages of being here at university is that you get to study with some really amazing people. One of my colleagues here, this was many years ago, he handed me a paper that he had presented, and this was back in 1994. So this now is, over 15 years old. It was called Modern Media and Ancient Greeks, and I wanted to just share a couple of pages with this because I think it may help people think about what's going on here. This is what he writes. When faced with criticisms, or what might be criticisms, of their opinions on disputable subjects, most people I run into in classes seem to be radical relativists. The terms expressing this particular instance of conformity with the majority's opinion that everyone is different are something like these. Who are you to say? Everybody sees something differently. You can't possibly tell me what I feel if you haven't been there yourself. You get what you want out of it, and referring to a text. That's what you get out of it, is what you want. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. But it's my opinion, meaning you don't have any right to make me explain or defend it. And you're not going to take off points because it's just your opinion, right? Referring to how the paper will be graded. Again, he's talking about the classroom. He says, listening closely to these phrases, however, I think you will hear that looked at one way, the same words that appear to express a shocking outburst of relativism among our children, looked at another way, are a defense of each individual's private dogmatism in holding stubbornly to opinions that often turn out to be as little individual, as little thought out, and as widely shared as popular relativism itself. Looked at yet a third way, attitudes that seem opposite, relativism and dogmatism, coexist compatibly as aspects of the same individual's attempts to refuse discussion, by contrast to a sort of side-by-side mere declaration of beliefs. I think this is very interesting, the degree to which a kind of relativistic dogmatism has taken over as individuals think that everyone is just airing what they think from their own perspective, and they have their own opinions, which really is a way of refusing careful discussion. That careful discussion, and I mean discussion whereby one becomes vulnerable to another and is accountable for the beliefs expressed, for the values held within the beliefs expressed. All of that has been sort of put aside, the answerability, the responsibility, as more and more people take it to be their prerogative to endorse a kind of dogmatic, individualistic relativism. People should ask themselves, what is the meaning of this? What will be the meaning of a society that supposedly is based upon democracy and public participation in dialogue and debate and discussion regarding the public good, how individual interests relate to collective interests, and instead of that, we have what appears to be nothing but individual interests. That's really all there are, it seems like, and all you can say is each person has their own interests, and that's the deal. No one's really accountable for their individual interests or for having to address how those interests either serve or don't serve the collective good. This is the question that I would like to see people respond to. How do we get out of this dogmatic, relativistic individualism? I think the problem is much more pernicious than people perhaps realize at first pass. You can see it on YouTube, but you can see it in so many other places where people are losing the ability to genuinely read, to genuinely learn from another, to genuinely listen to another. The ability to actually listen to what another is saying and then to understand what that means to that other, that capacity is eroding. More and more people seem more and more trapped in their own worldview and they've been given these very difficult to get out of belief systems regarding a sort of everyone has their own belief, everyone has their own opinion, and we're all just entitled to that, and who are you to tell me what I should or shouldn't think, and all of this kind of logic is really derailing meaningful dialogue. It's it's a kind of psychological defense, I think. It helps people from feeling vulnerable. It helps people from feeling as if they're going to need to explain themselves when they talk about things, because they can quickly just say, hey, look, this is my opinion, you have yours. Well, there you go. We both have different opinions. And the whole thing just gets written off so quickly. I think the most insidious aspect of it is that it's the perfect handmaiden for reducing all of life to consumer capitalism. And in the consumer capitalist world, the customer is always right. Taste cannot be disputed. And there is a sense in which a person says, hey, look, it's just a preference. When beliefs, when values, especially values regarding the collective good and the relationship of the individual's obligations to the collective good, when those have become nothing more than fashionable consumer preferences that people can wear because they like being seen with those beliefs, but then soon enough, as the tastes of the day change, they drop those for fashion reasons or for consumer preference reasons. Can you become more aware of the fact that people are losing the capacity to genuinely listen and genuinely engage with another? It's as if they're so trapped in their own bubble of what the world looks like and how things are that they just sort of look around for people who share those beliefs, or when they hear a belief that is a little bit different, they don't know how to register it. It just passes, and they dwarf it into what they already have ready-made there, right? There's a great line where someone says, understanding what someone says to you is attributing to them the ideas which their words arouse in yourself. I think that oftentimes happens. We end up just attributing to others ideas that they didn't really mean to invoke at all. So maybe the best way to end this video then is to ask a couple of questions. One is, do you think that there is a genuine concern over the collective good and the problem of the public good once individuals believe that all beliefs all come down to what each individual just thinks about it? How can people not see how religion and science have become very strange bedfellows with dogmatic relativistic individualism? Has it become a forcing bed for individualist consumer capitalism? Thanks.